When I was a young warthog, when I was a child, timeout meant almost 99% of the time for us millennials and the older Gen Z people. Timeout meant some teacher or caretaker was going to make you go stand in a corner and make you put your nose into the corner, like, and you could not move for however long, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Um, Otherwise, it was like somebody would send you alone to go, usually sit in some room by yourself, right? That was timeout. I remember majority of the time it was the standing in the corner though. And looking back on it, I'm like, what they were doing really was kind of hurtful. Not just because like the way they were trying to make you feel isolated, it was as like a consequential punishment for whatever negative emotions you were displaying in a negative way. Um, but it was like the consequence of isolating you also made you feel like, okay, I'm despised enough that my punishment is this adult who's kind of supposed to make me feel valuable as a kid. They're they're saying, I gotta get rid of you, like get away from me. Do like make the least noise, be the least existent I can see you be as long as I can have you stand there 10, 20 minutes. Just let me forget you exist, right? And I don't, I remember feeling that way every time. It always, and for every kid that was in timeout, that was kind of the added insult to the punishment was not just that, oh, I don't get to play with all the kids for a minute, but it's also like I'm I'm so bad that nobody wants me around for a minute. And I don't think that's how timeout should feel. I don't even think timeout really should be a punishment. I think it should be used as a tool. And what do I mean by that? Well, what are we doing with timeout? I think what we should be doing is kind of what the way healthy adults use timeouts. I've noticed in this last couple years, I feel like I'm better at relationships now. I'm not saying the people that came before weren't just maybe a little crazy, but I've definitely matured, right? And so if Leslie has done something to upset me, I'm able to say, I shouldn't talk about this right now. I'm upset. I'm flustered. I don't want to say something mean. I don't want to raise my voice. Let me go talk to my friend and ask him what he thinks about all this. Or just let me like I'm gonna go vent to my friend so that I can kind of like, you know, get away from this to where I've talked through it, I've talked about it. Now I can just come in level headed um, and work through it in a way where my negative emotions don't become negative, hurtful behavior. That's the line we want to draw, right? We always should work through negative emotion. Sometimes we need to do that with other people. That's another reason that I don't think timeout needs to be something where you're isolated necessarily. Um, but what a healthy adult does and a healthy child does is they work through that negative emotion in a way where it doesn't become negative behavior that hurts those around them. Um, and so, yeah, as an adult, timeout can look like a lot of things, but usually what it really means at its core is getting away, separating yourself from whatever problem it is that is making you feel like your whole existence now is just that problem. Stepping away and reminding yourself that, oh, there's more to life than this, right? I can regardless of what happens in that um, problem I'm facing, whether I don't get what I want out of it, whether it all comes crashing down in that facet of my life, there's still all this. The birds are still tweeting, the sun is still shining, I still have my legs. I'm walking around. There's stuff to do, right? Um, Remind yourself that the problem is not all there is to life. And also, another reason is because a lot of the times, the problem can take care of itself a lot easier if you separate yourself from it, right? Sometimes arguing something into the ground with your significant other or your friend or whatever, or whoever, it it doesn't really fix itself that easy when you're trying to brute force it. Sometimes stepping away and giving them an opportunity to maybe see your point. They're probably more likely to do that if you've talked some. Nobody's going to admit you're wrong if you're yelling at them, right? Unless they're just doing it out of fear. Or if you're working on a car and you are just so flustered, you're trying to put something together, you're working through a problem on a video game. Take a time out. Step away from it, right? If you're climbing a hard boulder problem and your wrists are just pumped and you are just so frustrated that you can't get it, maybe your hands have gotten too, like, they're tired. You need to time out, right? Usually, um, people need to step away for a minute. Not to say, hey, I'm leaving this problem behind, I'm forgetting it exists. Who cares what happened there? But to say, hey, I'm gonna I'm gonna be better addressing this problem in a healthy way if I don't let myself become overly obsessed with it, right? An argument, whatever issue you're having, stepping away is never gonna kill you. Only in rare circumstances is a timeout not going to be useful. I want to give you one example from when Everest was a kid, a baby, a toddler. You're still a kid, Ev. It's August of 2026, August 2nd to be exact. So you're 9. But when you were a toddler, if we were at a restaurant or something and you were having some kind of tantrum, I would give you what I refer to now as a timeout. Did I go make you sit alone somewhere? No, I didn't want to make you feel like you were unloved or unwanted. You're not. You are so wanted and you are so valuable, and God will never give you a timeout in heaven. God is more there for you when you're more upset, right? I think. But I would take you outside and I wouldn't try to talk you out of your temper tantrum. I wouldn't try to like punish you out of it. I would just walk around and have you point at the birds with me or try to find bugs in the grass. I was taking you away from the problem so that you would remember that there's a lot more to life than the problem. In fact, a lot of times you would just forget about the problem altogether. Like whatever you were upset about inside, you had just forgotten by the time we went back in. So time away can help. And I hope when you're older, your timeouts still involve me. If you're working through some kind of issue and you're taking time away to think about it, I am always going to be here unless I go deaf or mute. I am going to be there to answer the phone and talk you through it, or talk about it with you, or just talk about something else to where you just have a break from your issue. Um, anyway, I love you kids. Um, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.